When you were born, you didn't hesitate. You didn't wait for approval. You screamed, moved, demanded. Every part of you was wired for domination, for survival, for focus, for fire. But something happened. Not all at once. Slowly. With soft words. With rules. With labels. Be nice. Calm down. Don't be too aggressive. Don't stand out. Make them like you. These were not lessons. They were weapons, designed to blunt your edge before it ever had a chance to cut. Understand this, you were not made weak. You were made to forget your strength. Asterisk, asterisk. The world cannot control strong men, so it trains them to self-censor, to doubt their instincts, to feel guilt for their intensity, and over time, the lion becomes a pet. You think you're civilized. You think you're mature. But what you call maturity may just be surrender with a better name. I've seen warriors broken before they ever held a sword, broken by words, by expectations, by systems that punish clarity and reward obedience. This didn't happen to you by accident. It was engineered. They taught you to be passive, so you wouldn't revolt. To be dependent so you wouldn't leave. To be afraid so you wouldn't try. Every time you felt a fire rise in your chest, and someone told you to lower your voice, slow down, sit still, that was an attack. Not on your behavior, but on your nature. And you let it happen. Not because you were weak, but because you were young. And now, you must choose, remain the obedient version of you they built, or destroy him to resurrect the version they tried to bury. Because that version, he's still inside you, waiting, and it's time you bring him back. You wake up in a climate-controlled room. You touch a screen to be entertained. You eat food delivered to your door without hunting, growing, or earning it. You go days, weeks, even years without ever being truly tested. And you wonder why you feel hollow. Modern life is not built to make you strong. It is designed to keep you soft, predictable, compliant, fragile. The comfort you worship is a weapon. It dulls your edge. It clouds your instincts. It rewires your nervous system to fear challenge, delay action, and avoid anything that feels like pain. Why? Because a strong man cannot be controlled. But a soft one? He'll obey anything that promises comfort. Governments love soft men. Corporations profit from them. And culture, modern, digital, algorithmic culture, feeds you a steady diet of weakness disguised as convenience. You're no longer required to fight, so you forget how. You're no longer pushed to the edge, so you think you're already near it. But I'll tell you the truth, you are nowhere near your limit. You've just never been forced to find it. Asterisk, asterisk. Comfort has become your cage, and you decorated it to feel like freedom. I lived a life where every day was war. Not because I wanted pain, but because I knew pain was the only way to stay sharp, to stay alive, to stay free. You have been trained to avoid anything that might make you dangerous. Trained to suppress your aggression. Trained to apologize for your drive. Trained to internalize shame every time you feel powerful. Because they know, if you remember who you are, if you wake up, if you move, you become uncontrollable. You must begin to strip this system from your soul. Reject ease. Seek hardship. Turn off the noise. Sit in silence. Refuse the handouts. Build your own fire. Stop scrolling. Start sharpening. Modern life gave you everything, except your edge. Take it back. They engineered your softness. Now it's your move. They told you everyone is equal. They told you it was wrong to stand taller, speak louder, move faster. They told you that your strength must be hidden, your dominance restrained, your instincts softened. All in the name of harmony. But what they never told you is this. The equality they preach is not truth. It's strategy, asterisk, asterisk. When everyone is equal, no one rises. When no one rises, no one threatens the system. So they taught you to apologize for your power. You were told to be more understanding when your instincts saw weakness. You were told to hold back when your strength made others feel small. You were told that's toxic when your clarity disrupted their confusion. This wasn't morality. It was suppression. They feared what you could become. So they disguised guilt as virtue. They weaponized shame to keep you ordinary. I never believed in forced equality. I believed in earned greatness. In the war of life, not all men are equal, and they never will be. Some are faster, sharper, hungrier, and if that man is you, you have two choices. Bury your edge to make others comfortable, or sharpen it until they can no longer ignore it. This system trains lions to purr, to smile, to comply. But you were not born for compliance. You were born to conquer. And the lie of equality? It was the chain they wrapped around your neck before you ever saw a battlefield. Equality sounds noble. But enforced equality kills ambition. It punishes excellence. It destroys drive. Stop apologizing for being powerful. Stop hiding your intensity. Stop dimming your fire to keep the room warm for those who fear the heat. This world is not fair, but it is yours to shape if you have the strength to stop asking permission. Your power is not a threat. It is your responsibility. Unleash it. You think you're free because there's no cage around you. But there is. You just can't see it because it's padded, pleasant, and perfectly designed to never feel like prison. They call it comfort culture. It doesn't attack you. It seduces you. It whispers to you in warm beds, glowing screens, and endless conveniences. It makes you believe that pain is the enemy, that effort is optional, that discomfort is a failure of planning, not a necessity of growth. But here's the truth. You were born to be wild, sharp, untamed. And now you are domesticated, ***. You've been taught that comfort equals success, that the man who suffers is doing something wrong. That peace is the goal, even if it comes at the cost of your edge, your fire, your life. Comfort has become the new god, and you worship it daily. You avoid conflict to protect your peace. You avoid challenge to preserve your energy. You avoid ambition to stay balanced. But this balance is a lie. It is the equilibrium of decay. The moment you stop growing, you start dying. And comfort ensures you never notice the rot until it's too late. The warrior knows something the world has forgotten. Discomfort is not punishment. It is purification, ***. When I walked through storms barefoot, it wasn't because I enjoyed pain. It was because pain reminded me I was still alive, still willing, still dangerous, still human. You, on the other hand, have been taught to fear that reminder. Comfort makes you forget what you are. It teaches you to be numb, not awake. Passive, not powerful. Predictable, not dangerous. And now, your nervous system flinches at the smallest friction. Your mind shuts down at the first resistance. Your body weakens because it is never summoned for war. Escape this trap. Choose what burns over what soothes. Choose what sharpens over what softens. Choose the path that hurts but hardens. Because comfort culture will never stop seducing you, but you can stop answering. You were born with fire. Not just energy, but aggression, precision, power, a hunger to shape the world instead of be shaped by it. That was masculinity in its rawest form. And that terrified them, because a strong man does not beg. He does not conform. He does not seek approval from those who profit off his obedience. So they set to work, not to destroy you, but to reshape you. Not with weapons, with messages. Aggression is toxic. Competition is unfair. Masculinity is a disease. Be softer. Be nicer. Be more like them. These weren't suggestions. They were programming. And it worked. Look around. A generation of men trained to suppress their edge. Their voice lowered. Their posture collapsed. Their drive traded for dopamine. Their presence silenced, not by force, but by guilt. You were taught to be ashamed of your power, to fear your own dominance, to believe your instincts were wrong if they weren't soft. This was not evolution. It was emasculation, ***. The world did not ask you to be better. It demanded you be smaller. But masculinity was never about noise or violence. It was about presence, penetrating clarity, the strength to hold the line when everyone else folds. And most of all, the refusal to be domesticated. I never dulled my edge to make others feel safe. I never lowered my sword to avoid offense. And neither should you. Because the man who hides his strength for the comfort of others will one day wake up a stranger to himself. Your masculinity is not a problem to fix. It's a weapon to reclaim. So sharpen it. Speak louder. Stand taller. Move with certainty. Cut away everything in your life that taught you to shrink. You were not made to be soft. You were made to be steel. You used to move to survive. Now you sit and swipe. You used to scan the horizon for danger. Now you scroll for distractions. You used to build, lift, carry, endure. Now you tap, consume, repeat. Technology has not just changed how you live. It has changed what you are. It's turned you passive. And worse, you allowed it. This was never about advancement. It was about pacification. Every new device, every new app, every new shortcut was sold to you as convenience. But what it really did was strip you of friction, challenge, action. And without friction, the edge disappears. Without discomfort, the warrior dies. You used to sweat before the sun rose. Now you check your phone before your feet touch the ground. You used to speak with authority. Now you text with anxiety. You used to command your day. Now your notifications do. Technology didn't make you passive overnight. It trained you step by step. It made you believe waiting 3 seconds for loading is suffering. It made you believe boredom is a crisis. It made you believe silence is a threat. It made you believe everything should come without effort. And in that belief, your body softened. Your mind weakened. Your soul quieted. Don't lie to yourself. Asterisk, asterisk, you are not in control. Your impulses are. And those impulses are no longer yours. They've been outsourced to the algorithm. Asterisk, asterisk. This is not a rant against technology. It is a call to reclaim yourself. Use it. Don't let it use you. Turn it off when you don't need it. Schedule your days before the screen dictates them. Create before you consume. Move your body more than you move your thumbs. You're not a machine. But if you keep living like one, you will be replaced by one. You don't need to delete everything. But you must dominate it. Because the man ruled by tech is no longer a man. Your focus is fractured. Your mind is loud but aimless. You open your phone for one thing. Wake up hours later not remembering why. And it's not an accident. Your attention is the battlefield. And you're losing. Not because you're weak, but because they built it that way. Focus isn't profitable. Confusion is. There are people, companies, systems that benefit from your inability to concentrate. They don't need you disciplined. They need you distracted, just enough to keep scrolling, watching, buying. So they feed you dopamine like breadcrumbs. Notifications, endless feeds, infinite tabs, addictive micro-rewards that train your brain to chase novelty, not mastery. And now you can't even sit still without stimulation. You say you have ADHD. Maybe. Or maybe your brain has been trained like a circus animal, rewarded for jumping at every bell, punished for staying in silence. Focus isn't lost. It's buried. And the longer you avoid digging it out, the more you live in someone else's control. I trained for hours with no music, no distraction, no comfort. Just repetition. Just the rhythm of the sword. Because I knew, a man who can't hold his mind still will never hold the world in his hand. You think you're informed. You're just overloaded. You think you're connected. You're just entangled. You think you're awake. You're just constantly stimulated. Wake up for real. Take your focus back. Delete the apps that own you. Set hours for stillness. Meditate not to feel good, but to regain control. Read long texts. Solve hard problems. Practice boredom. Do what makes your mind strong, not entertained. Because the man who owns his focus owns his future. And the man who doesn't, he's already been sold. They say they want you kind, gentle, understanding. But what they really want, what the system craves, is predictability. Because a dangerous man is not easy to manage. He doesn't follow trends. He doesn't respond to manipulation. He cannot be boxed, taxed, herded, or sold. He is wild, and the world fears the wild. So they call danger toxic. They label unpredictability as a threat. They teach you to dull your instincts and become safe. But you weren't born to be safe. You were born to be sharp. Modern systems are designed to eliminate your threat. Not for your safety, for their control. They give you rules to limit your reach. They feed you shame to blunt your ambition. They give you toys to keep you distracted. They give you comfort to make you tame. And you wonder why you feel lost. You're not lost. You're caged. They don't want you powerful. They want you programmable. They don't want you alert. They want you addicted. They don't want you leading. They want you obeying. And every time you apologize for your edge, for your hunger, for your clarity, you do their work for them. You disarm yourself. But I'll tell you this, a man who is no longer dangerous is no longer free. A dangerous man isn't reckless. He's ready. He's not violent. He's capable. He's not chaotic. He's untouchable. You want peace? Then become dangerous enough that no one dares threaten you. Train your mind. Sharpen your will. Harden your body. Move with purpose. Speak with power. Live with clarity. And when the system comes to soften you, smile. Because by then it's already too late. You've remembered what they tried to make you forget. You are not here to be managed. You are here to be unstoppable. No one will tell you when it starts. No alarm. No warning. Just quiet, invisible erosion. One small compromise. One skipped workout. One lie to yourself. One comfort you didn't question. And then another. And another. Until one day, you wake up and you're not you anymore. You didn't fall apart. You were broken in silence. By routine. By comfort. By a life designed to make you forget you were ever dangerous. And while you were busy avoiding pain, softening your voice, scrolling your ambition into oblivion, your fire died out. Slowly. Without ceremony. This is how men are destroyed today. Not in battle. Not in collapse. But in the quiet daily drift from who they could have been. You think you're safe because things seem normal. But what you call normal is just a system that rewards your sedation. It rewards your silence. It rewards your inaction. It rewards your comfort. And if you don't break that cycle, asterisk, it will break you. Asterisk. But here's the truth most won't say. If you want to be free, you must break first. Break the routines that numb you. Break the beliefs that cage you. Break the identity you didn't choose. Tear down the version of yourself they manufactured. The one who apologizes for wanting more, who hesitates at the edge, who keeps asking for permission. Because that version is not you. That version is your prison. And it was built silently, brick by brick, while you were asleep. So now you break. With noise. With movement. With rage. With clarity. You rebuild not from peace, but from pressure. From pain. From the decision that this life you've tolerated is over. The man you could be is still there. But he will not rise until you kill the one who replaced him. Do it now, or they will finish the job. It's not just about breaking free. It's about becoming someone the system can no longer touch. They gave you the blueprint. A safe job, quiet obedience, polite dreams. They told you to chase approval, avoid pain, and never question the rhythm of a life that keeps you on your knees. And now you know why. Because a man on his knees never rises. But the warrior does not kneel. He stands. Even when alone. Especially when alone. The system wants your silence. So speak with clarity. It wants your guilt. So move with power. It wants your fear. So live with defiance. You must reject all of it. Not with words, but with action. Stop following rules you never agreed to. Stop apologizing for your edge. Stop trading purpose for peace. Your war is not against others. It's against the version of you that believed them. The soft self. The obedient self. The one who scrolls instead of moves. Who delays instead of decides. Who waits for permission to be what he already is. Kill that man. And build something new in his place. Not a man who fits in, but one who stands out. Not a man who copes, but one who conquers. Not a man who blends, but one who burns. Reclaim your rituals. Choose discomfort daily. Train when no one watches. Build your body, your mind, your voice until they all become weapons. And when you return to the world, do not lower your volume. Let them feel the weight of your presence. Because the system does not fear rebellion. It fears men who no longer need it. Become that man. The one who rebuilt himself from ash. Who walks alone, but never without fire. You don't need approval. You don't need their permission. You only need the decision. To reject the system. And rebuild the warrior.